My husband cheated on me
Hey!
once. This one is not suspicion.
Right.
It's caught red-handed.
Okay.
Like, you do one. They catch you say you do one. Of course, I was confrontational, yes. I felt I'm a woman. I felt heartbroken.
Right.
And what triggered me the most was, these were the things I saw were things that I wanted.
Hey!
That I was being denied of.
We
I
understand
love the
it.
fact that we were able to dialogue.
Okay.
We were able to resolve. And I saw some
But are you
things.
sure you were not depriving him of anything before that happened?
No, I can't say. Funny enough. Now me even they push more.
What about the devil? You know,
he was-
sometimes it may be the devil.
Yes, now devil be the brain behind that
Right.
one. Generally, but
No, hold on.
no. So the it's not a deal breaker.
Okay.
If it's not a thing they constantly do, if it's
They
something
were off.
they just fell into maybe once.
Okay.
And this is the first time
Okay.
you understand. I were able to communicate. I even wanted to know why. I wanted to know why. Why did you do this? And I saw that, okay, we were able to resolve.
Family has long been regarded as the bedrock of human existence, especially from an African perspective, because it shapes value, shapes identity, and then social stability. However, in recent times, there's been increasing strains on this foundation as a result of the fact that divorce rates has been rising, and it cuts across age brackets, social status, and even religion. And what is even more worrying is the fact that the people who should uphold the standards of marriage, members of the body of Christ, Christians, have also become part of this challenge we're having in the society. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Through Podcast, where we have conversations under the spotlight of the truth. And on this episode, we're looking at Christian marriage and divorce. And as usual, I'm not alone. And this episode promises to be exciting because for the first time, we have a lady in the building. It's taking us how many?
One season and
a few episodes to finally get a woman who is bold enough to come on this episode. And we're excited. And we hope that this would kind of like, spur more people, more ladies to come through for us, because, hey, this is not a men's table talk. It's Talk Through, where we have both the men and the women, and we have these conversations. So as usual, I'd like to welcome our very own, His Excellency CDO. Thank you for coming through. It's always a delight.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. And we have, as always, Oyez in the building. Thank you for turning up.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yes, I feel like us having some kind of drum roll to introduce these our female guests who has stepped to the plate, because it's been a long time coming. But hey, we're excited to have our very own Deborah Oyezechukwu. I hope I got that right.
That's right.
Is a woman of many parts, many talents, many capacities, many capabilities, many giftings. I don't know the description, but I had to add it. A chef, an organic beautician, a vocalist, an event host, and a Christian creative, popularly known as Diva.
Brand.
I'll particularly share her journey through life, marriage, motherhood, and business, offering relatable insights and inspiration from her perspective as a wife and a mother. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, and the rest of the world, give it up for the very first lady on Talk Through Podcast this season, Debbie Diva.
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Feels like home.
Absolutely.
I don't even feel like this is my first time on this podcast.
Wow.
But yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really glad to be
There's
here.
just something a woman brings to every occasion. Honestly.
Again.
It's just different. Yes. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. There is an onslaught on marriage in general. and it has also stretched towards it's already gone beyond the boundaries of the four walls of the church. It has entered deep. But before we get into that, we want to look at Christian marriage. Before we now start talking statistics, because I have a paper here that I'm going to show us later on when we get to divorce. But we know that the being behind marriage established it not having divorce in mind, obviously, because there are three of them and they are united in one like that, and that's the idea behind marriage. But obviously the fall of man and many things have happened that also have brought about what we have as it says now. But let's talk about Christian marriage, and then we now look at the ills that are befalling it, which is predominantly divorce. Woman of God and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Ideally,
Thank you.
What is the role of Christian marriage as instituted by God when He first conceived it? What's the role? What is it supposed to do? And where are we right now before we look at how we now got into divorce? I'd like to start with Oyez.
Okay. Marriage is a representation of God's relationship with the church. That's how best I can put it, because the union of a man and a woman, the man sacrificing his all for his woman, and the woman honoring him with, a body, and it is in the likeness of what the church should offer to God. We as Christians individually and as a collective, as a church.
Right.
So we are offering our body to the one who first offered his life to us. So marriage is the first ministry, if another way I could, define it, where it shows two individuals coming together and starting a community. That's how life came into existence in the first place, where Adam and God introduced Eve to Adam.
Right.
And, the blessing that He blessed them was a commandment in the blessing. Go and multiply. You understand? And it's the same words, the same choice of words was given to the disciples when Jesus Christ was enabling them. He said, go into the world and make disciples. In other words, go and multiply.
Right.
So that's how I see marriage. A representative of how God relates with the church or with mankind.
Debbie Diva?
Okay, in my honest opinion, marriage first, I agree with the term that marriage was originally orchestrated by God. That is the God factor is the reason it was created in the first place. But I like to state clearly that the essence of marriage was not basically because God wanted Adam and Eve to go into the world and multiply. It was clearly stated in the Bible. I'm coming from the biblical
Right. Go ahead.
angle, so to say. God gave Adam a helpmate.
Right.
That was the essence.
True.
God wanted him to have a helpmate because He knew Adam could not do it alone. Adam would not fulfill all He had created him to alone. So he needed someone to support, to help.
Right.
That was how God, created Eve. So I think that was the most important part of marriage in the first place, that a helpmate, and then they can now go and then multiply. So in clear terms, marriage is an institution created by God. And that is why no matter how hard we try, you can't take the God factor out of marriage. You can't take the creator who created out of the content. It's not possible. So yes, marriage was divinely created, originally created by God.
Absolutely. Thank you for your thoughts, Your Excellency, your 2 cents.
Everything we've said here is in order. when God created man, he said that it is not good for man to be alone. And he made him a helpmeet,
Right.
Which is a woman. And God also told them to multiply and subdue the earth. So I think it's at that instance that God ordained marriage, when he told them to multiply and subdue the earth. Then if you go further to what Oyez has said, that marriage is a representation of our relationship with the church and God. So what happens is that because God is all-knowing, right from the beginning, God already knew the end. So when he created man, he already knew man would fall. He already knew the man needs a woman. He already knew that Christ will someday die to save us. He already knew that eventually we'll become his bride. So from the beginning, God already had given us a type and shadow of what it is to come. So marriage represents our relationship as in the Christ and the church.
And the church, yes.
You know, the relationship between Christ and the church, which they have said, and that is the importance of marriage. Marriage has two very significant importance. One is Christ, God giving man the instruction to multiply and subdue the earth. Secondly, marriage is a representation of Christ and the church here on earth. So those are very two significant representations that marriage carries. It shows God's dominion, which he has given unto man by telling man to multiply and subdue the earth, because the earth was under the control of another spirit. And so God, to show that he is God, didn't want to come down here himself to come and take dominion. So he created a being purportedly lesser than spirits and gave that being higher authority than spirits, which is mankind, and said, multiply and subdue the earth. Then secondly, when Christ saved us, we became one with him. We became his bride. Marriage also represents that relationship between Christ and the church. So it is good we know these two. It is good these two scenarios are established, because they will be very important in our conversation to discuss what you want us to discuss here today.
Okay.
Amazing. So if we all agree that it was God that institutionalized marriage or set marriage in motion, does that also means that whatever God sets in motion cannot fail?
So first of all, I want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Institutionalized and instituted, do they mean the same thing?
Instituted is to set something in motion. To institute something. To institutionalize, I think, means to put a system, kind of like a structure. So I think they have.
So I think God instituted marriage.
Yes, instituted marriage.
Marriage.
We institutionalized it.
Yes.
Okay, so
that's safe to
So
say.
God instituted marriage, culture and government institutionalized it.
Marriage,
That's
yes.
correct.
So you have gone ahead of. So does that mean that the failure that we have in marriages today, especially within the context of what we're discussing, is as a result of the institutionalized marriage instead of the instituted one? Because we know that whatsoever is born of God overcomes the world, cannot fail. So when failure begins to happen in marriage, in this case, divorce, which is separation, is it how do I put it?
Who's to blame?
Exactly.
Basically.
Is it because we know that God, cannot set something in motion and then it fails? Then two people who believe in God, are united, and somewhere along the line we realize that, there is separation.
That's where the responsibility comes in
Right.
for both parties. in the marriage, and even extended parties affiliated to the marriage. So what God has set in motion does not fail, established.
Exactly.
And that's where we see in Adam's context where something went wrong in the Garden of Eden, and God asked him, Adam, where are you? And he said, I'm naked. And God said, how do you know you're naked? He said, the woman, not the answer to the question, but, already pushing responsibility. So this is where the burden of responsibility comes to the parties involved in that marriage, from the man to the woman to the institution that, what's that word now? Officiated the wedding, or this institution that gives licenses for wedding and so on, marriages and so on. And the community, parents, in-laws and so on have a responsibility not to make marriage fail. Once we know that God handed this institution to us, we have a responsibility not to make it fail. Every one of us. And I feel that's what that passage actually means. What God has joined together. Make it not be for my hand, now it go spoil. I think that's what it means. Let me stop there, but I feel that's what that statement means. What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So let it not be in your hand that this thing was put asunder. Yeah.
Debbie Diva.
I don't think I quite get his point clearly. I don't think I quite get. Are you saying the issues that marriages face that leads to divorce is because? Please come again. Are you saying it's because of the many factors you have mentioned right now that tries to put asunder? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying the issues will definitely be there. That one is a given.
Okay.
That there will be issues. But on no account should you let those issues break up a marriage.
Okay.
Or do whatever it takes not to even, if there's a way you can block an issue from, occurring. If there is a way within your power, try as much as possible to avoid it. It's easier said than done. We're just saying this for when the realities come to play, we know what is obtainable. But once we start looking at it from that light, that this thing that God has given to me, it's a big deal, then maybe we'll take more responsibility for it.
Jesus gave an example of the only reason why, the only basis on which a marriage should be
dissolved. The only reason for divorce, right?
Yes, and he said is adultery, right?
Yeah.
But these days we see that his people go their separate ways for other issues, but adultery. Your Excellency, sir.
Okay, that reason for separation that is adultery, is it Jesus that set it up?
Yes, it was Jesus.
That said it. Okay. Yes. So first of all, let me take us back a little to what Oyez said about the reason for annulment, divorce or whatever, or fees of marriage. So first of all, I think marriage started having problems from the garden. I started by establishing two major representation, and one of the things is that when God created man, God actually, when God said, let us make man in our own image and likeness, let him have dominion, God, the Godhead wanted to show the devil that he's a created being. Because the sin that was committed in heaven before the devil, Lucifer, and 1/3 of the angels were sent down here was pride. Basically, Lucifer at some point felt that he should be part of the Godhead. That, instead of Trinity, that they should have 4 of them deciding. That was his sin. And so he was sent down here with 1/3 of the angels, and he came here and made the earth very disorderly and stuff. At some point that God had to freeze the earth and all the beings. There were other beings before mankind. There were other beings here. They may even have been human beings, I don't know, but before the one that was created in the image and likeness of God, which is Adam. So when God created Adam and gave Adam Eve and told them to have dominion over the earth, the enemy saw it and realized that, oh, so these ones want to take authority over me. So from that instance, he decided to attack that unit, because the man and the woman is a unit. You understand? When
Yes.
God created Adam, he said that it is not good that he be alone.
Right.
I will give him a helpmeet. But for God to maintain what is in heaven, because he created us in the order and likeness of the Godhead, the Trinity remains one. You understand? So if he was going to give Adam a helpmeet, it will also be good that they be one, which was why he put Adam to sleep and took his rib to make the woman. So in as much as there were two people in the garden, they were one unit. And the devil saw that and saw what God had done at that